I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzz TV Drag Race fans. We are here to recap All-Stars Season 5, Episode 4. I am your host, 123 Jackie B. With me, as always, Jayla Rocks.
I'm here, you guys.
She's here this week.
I am this week's lip sync assassin, and I'm so happy to be back. I miss you guys so much.
And we have Ollie Drennan.
Hey, Shady Bunch. I love y'all.
Yes.
We have special guest Tez, who will be filling in for Jayla when she's not here.
I'm back again.
Yes. He did our first virtual show. So
yes, and you've
he's
been doing
back
a
for
wonderful
some more
job.
virtual stuff. And
Thank
then
you.
our second lip sync assassin, the very beautiful, the gorgeous, the stunning Lorraine Love.
Hello!
I love your hair, girl.
I came straight from services right here.
Yes.
Did you come from Michelle Visage Services, though?
Never in a million years.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get into it. It seemed like people didn't like last week. And by people, I don't just mean like, I'm not just talking about our panel. I'm talking about fans were tweeting me and they were like, I didn't like the challenge last week. So I hope you all liked it this week. I do love a good improv challenge. But my favorite part of the improv challenge was actually the stuff TMZ room where they were like doing the like bro dude thing. That was cracking me up. And I almost wish, I was like, why didn't they get like points or like brownie points or whatever for that? Because I thought that was hilarious. You guys overall thoughts on the episode? Lorraine.
I agree with you. I was going to say the exact same thing. I thought they were more funny as straight men than drag queens playing roles. That I thought I could have just watched that for an hour. Overall, it was a smidge better than last week, but it had its moments. I love Sarah Hyland. I actually met Sarah Hyland at Rockwell Table and Stage as Lorraine Love, so she's met Lorraine.
That's awesome. Jayla, what did you think of the challenge this week?
Oh my God. So, okay, I have to catch up because I haven't been here in a long time. So I have been like actually enjoying All-Stars 5. But what I don't understand is that this season is a bunch of quitters. So maybe we'll talk about it.
Yes.
We'll talk about it, and we got some stuff to catch up on.
Tez, you look like you have a comment on the quitters.
No, that really irks my soul. Like that's the one thing that I do not like, and especially for All Stars, like it's not really a time to be a punk. Like let's like get it, fight it out. And I don't like that. Like let's stay in there, and I think that's what they are doing.
Ollie, overall thoughts on the episode?
Better than last week, even if the episode's kind of lackluster. Like for example, last week, I still just think the cast is what saves it. Like I can't get over how amazing this cast is, how strong it is, the personalities. There's so much shade, but it's all with love at the end of the day, I think. So I just love this cast. To me, it's one of the strongest casts of All Stars to date. So I enjoyed it, and I love it. I love seeing the queens like outside of like the studio. It's such a refreshing thing to see. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're actually out. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about it with you guys.
Really quickly, I want to thank those who joined us live in the chat room. Annabelle, Raina, Rihanna again, John Ray. I love a good Rihanna. Chucky Chuck. Thank you guys so much for joining us live. If you enjoy our videos, give us 5 stars on iTunes and a comment, or give us a thumbs up on YouTube and a comment, and you could be fan of the week. And we announce several fans of the week every episode. So please continue to, tune in live and give your comments. We love to hear what you guys thought of the episodes as well. So I actually wanted to start this with the hardest thing for me about watching All Stars is the fact that they're like having to vote each other off, and then it causes all these problems. And I'm that person that I'm like, I just want to see the queens happy and participating in challenges. I don't like I don't like the forced fight. I don't like it when you force people to be mad at each other. And so this episode, we had, you know, Shea mad at Mayhem because Mayhem voted for her, and then Shea mad at, who else was she mad at? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on this?
Alexis.
That's, yeah. And then she was mad at Alexis, but then she got paired up with Alexis. What do you guys think as far as people getting really hurt feelings wise by the people who voted them in the bottom? Do you think they should be taking it personally? Do you think they shouldn't? Thoughts on that?
Well, I think that they shouldn't take it personally because you signed up for the game, number one. You knew that it was going to be a competition setting, number two. So the rules of whatever, like, I don't care if the grandmas had to vote each other out. Like, you knew that you were coming on a competition. So you had to come with your game face, period. You're not going to be living in a house, like, you know, kicking water in a pool. It doesn't work like that. So I feel like you have to come there with your A game or you get left behind.
Yeah.
I'm also honestly a little surprised that no one said that they voted Shea in the bottom because they thought she was their best competition. Because you see every All-Stars, like, people saying that they did that. And I'm like, Shea is clearly not, like, Shea is clearly like one of the top contenders in this whole All-Stars thing. So I was like shocked that no one used that as their excuse. You get a little bit of that with Mayhem saying, well, she voted for me, so I voted for her. But yeah, that was my thought on that.
Well,
any other thoughts on the, like, voting?
If anything, it's
stuff?
like Shea can't be mad because she's still here. You know, it's almost like see it as a compliment. It's like, oh, like, I'm competition, which is honestly, I feel like that's what it is at the end of the day. Even Mayhem said it. It's like, oh, I thought everyone was going to vote for Shea. And so bottom line is, like, Shea, when it's time to vote for one of the people that voted for you. So it's almost like an eye for an eye situation for you. So, you know,
I mean, I agree with Jayla. Why are you there if you're going to vote yourself? Like, I couldn't believe it that, like, everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna vote myself. Oh, it's not fair. I want to go. At least India is fighting to be there. It makes me love her even more because she's like, I'm not giving up. I want to be here. I want to prove myself. That's what I want to see on All Stars. I don't want to see this. I just want to come back for 15 minutes so you have another thing to announce at the next drag show.
Yeah. Well, maybe they would probably stop hiring the girls that have recently been on the show because maybe they're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
If you have a bunch of girls like Akasha, season 1, Rebecca Glasscock, they're going to have something to prove. That's why BB won over the new generation of fans, if you will, because she has something to prove.
Well, you think that Angina would too.
Yeah.
Well,
I think so. I think with Shea, I think it was just that we saw what happened last season with All Stars 4, and she knows she's top tier like competition, and she knows what could happen when you end in the bottom. So it's like a shock. Like, I could have always been gone, but somehow I wasn't. So obviously, this person voted for me. They want to be gone now. I'm going to retaliate. That's kind of what happened in this episode. So it's a game. I would honestly play that way. I know they say you want to beat the best. No, I want to win. So I'm going to send home the best.
Well, I say you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah,
because if you do it, then everyone's going to go, you voted her out and she was so good, like they did for Manila. If you don't, they're going to hate you anyway. So
yeah.
Well, I have a total solution that will solve all of these problems.
Yeah.
So All Star 6, take notes, okay? I'm going to give it to you. You don't have to worry about being in the bottom if you bring good drag to begin with.
Right.
If your drag is good, it is what it is. You'll always be in the top, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
If you have bad drag, you're in the bottom.
Let's get to the main challenge, because I do think there's a little bit of an element though where I can see where the queens are saying, I don't know what they're looking for in the challenge, because this week to me, actually, the skits for the main challenge were not very funny. The drag queens being like straight men was really funny. Their interaction with Carson was funny. I was kind of hoping for something like Akira, where you had that like just totally like
yes,
wild,
Breakout.
like
or
like
the
a breakout.
pickle, something like that, like the pickle with the the baby, something in my opinion that I agree.
And I'm just constantly like, when you've had similar challenges before, you're constantly comparing in your mind to someone who was like a breakout star in that challenge. So I don't know, that's why I was a little bit let down, because I was like, well, nothing made me laugh as hard as like, Akira or this or that, before. So that was a little bit hard for me. But what were you guys' thoughts on the main challenge?
So I agree. Right, I was like, where to go?
Those are my thoughts.
I'm sorry. Everyone's like,
Taz, go ahead.
I'll go ahead and agree with you. I think when you do the same type of challenges, whether you change the name of the concept, it's the same challenge. So you're always comparing it to the previous one. Just like with last week's, the hotel was basically the club challenge. And so because of that, I couldn't get Club 96 out of my head, So that's just what happens. And I think the issue that I'm seeing, honestly, with this season is a constant, recycle of challenges. Regardless of the name, it's the same challenge. And everyone, we're just seeing the same thing. It's very easy to compare. We're not that impressed by compared to what we've seen in the past. So that's my opinion.
Also, they were.
I actually thought that watching that, if I'm just looking at the skits, I think I was the most like engaged in Shea and Alexis's.
That's how I thought too.
I didn't understand. I mean, I get it. You want Miz Cracker to get a challenge win, so we're gonna blow smoke up her butt and say that she did an amazing job. I get how the show works, but until they were like
Shea button. I'm out of here.
I've got two. They're going to be earrings next week. Shit, why didn't I think to do that? And then I didn't understand the licking glass. Can somebody, where did that come from?
Wait, the what is it?
The licking glass from Mayhem and India's challenge.
I didn't like that at all. I thought
mean,
about
was that improv?
Corona, and I was just like, ooh. It didn't. I don't know.
Well, also keep in mind they put two of like the funniest queens, Cracker and Juju, on the same team, and which completely they ate. You forgot about Blair. I feel like Blair should have been in the bottom this week. I have like no, at least with India and Mayhem, they actually improved, whereas Blair was just completely overshadowed. I do think Juju and Cracker slayed it. I really do. I think Alexis, I agree with the judges. I forget who said it, that Alexis wasn't really listening to Shea. Right. He was talking over her. So I think that's what hurt them. And the number one rule in improv, obviously, it's say yes, but also listen. You have to make sure you're constantly listening. And I feel like Alexis was funny. Shea was funny, but Alexis was just constantly over talking Shea and not letting Shea say what she has to say in the scene. So that was the only downside with them. And I agree, India and Mayhem they just had a really weak scene that didn't really go anywhere. I was hoping India would have like played up some kind of like sexy, like she looked like Anna Nicole Smith, and I wanted her to like play up more that character. And so the licking, I agree, was just
weird.
Well, we here at All Stars always tend to miss the mark. So it's I mean, what do you expect? Okay, Daddy Janky. Next.
Daddy Janky.
That's my favorite. I love Daddy Janky. Well, let's move on to the workroom. They have this conversation in the workroom where TMZ, I guess, released that Blair had a DUI, and then Mayhem was sharing that Mayhem also had a DUI. I found it very relevant to the time period that we're going now, where we learned that Mayhem went to jail for a DUI and Blair didn't.
2 DUIs.
But still, yeah.
Well, I mean,
not that I'm downplaying what a DUI is, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Well, most people, I have known people that got 2 DUIs and didn't go to jail. So I just found it very, very like shocking. And I thought it was
I know somebody
too harsh,
who got
you know?
2 DUIs who's not Black. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That did go to jail because of 2 DUIs. So
okay.
I do know the fact. I mean, I know what you're saying, but yeah, it was interesting. I think whether I'm just seeing stuff in the chat room about Mayhem and stuff, and whether she even deserved to be there and blah blah blah. Whether you like Mayhem or not.
Okay, stop. No, I'm stopping this right now. Not you, but like if you're in the chat room saying that Mayhem shouldn't have been there, go see Mayhem live. Go freaking see her live. She deserves to be there.
Well, I think anybody, I guess, kind of deserves to be there. Maybe not Jared. But I just think, I think we did get to see a side of Mayhem that I know, because I know Mayhem and I've worked with Mayhem before. But I do think she did show a different side. Whether you like this new side or the real side of Mayhem is a whole nother conversation you should have with yourself. But I think we definitely saw more from her in All Stars than we did in season 10.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
I mean, kind of bridging off that Mayhem conversation, then we have Mayhem, you know, Michelle was like, oh, you're giving me attitude. And then they had like a conversation in Untucked with each other. I actually like that they did a follow-up on this where they have a conversation, because a lot of times these shows try to cut things together and they make it look like these people are fighting or they're angry. And it's like, Michelle and Mayhem work together. Like they have to, you know, have this conversation somewhere. So I'm really glad that they showed that on screen, because a lot of times we get half the story and then people are left angry at somebody, you know?
Did they do that with Angina and Derek, with Michelle coming in after speaking with them?
No.
Interesting.
No, they call they
do that
asked
because
the
of
Uber and hit it.
Uber exit. Oh.
Okay, no, Uber pool. Thanks for playing.
I want to piggyback and just say that I don't think it's that Mayhem is not deserving to be there. My initial saying was that I think she was not ready to come back yet.
I agree.
And that's what I'm saying.
Her, and so that's why I think people may say undeserving. Really, it's like I think her time was not now. It was too soon. You know, they kind of almost shoved her down our throats. They gave us the Christmas special last year. They were like doing things. You know, they had her in the last season, so you kind of seen that it was coming, but I don't think it was time for her to come back.
Agreed.
I think she would have given more on a next upcoming season for All Stars versus now.
Agreed.
Yeah, I feel like if you've been on VH1 before, don't come back. Like let the logo queens get their chance to be on VH1. And that way we get to see like Acid Betty. Or, why are you laughing?
You know,
someone said, I guess the party's over. That's why I was laughing. Sorry.
Yeah, someone in the chat room was saying the party's over.
The chat is lit.
I was thinking too, I think another really good thing that they talked about was the fact about drinking and doing drag. And it's just changed, because before we really just went, like, you weren't on TV. Winston Montgomery, shut the fuck up.
Press the shade button.
Yes, honey. Mommy dearest.
You know, I just think it's an important conversation. I'm glad that they had the conversation about how much drag and drinking and being in the club, I mean, they're tied together. And I think I'm glad that they had that conversation, especially for the young queens that watch the show and are wanting to do drag. It's like, it was a very different thing in 1863 when I started.
And there was no like Lyft, there was no Uber.
Right.
And now we can't even go out because of COVID. But yeah, I love that the conversation was brought up, because it's just a different time frames. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's really good to remember that Mayhem she's been in drag for a long time. She's at the same time as Morgan Michaels and all those others, but she came to Drag Race late. So people really may think that she's like much younger, but she's really been doing drag for a very long time.
Right.
And I can see that. That's where it can be a little different, like difficult to judge her, because she is realistically like how Jujubee is back and she's, a more seasoned queen, but she's back with the new times, where realistically Mayhem came at a time where it's new and she's been out for a very long time. So it's kind of like with that in my,
I see that. So Runway, what were your tops and bottoms? We had Camo Runway.
Well, I want to say this.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I hate
Oh God.
the runway theme this week.
What?
I was gonna say Tess is wearing
I know.
Camo.
We would all be
I
eliminated
came
except for
in
Tess.
this. I Miz Cracker. It was set up for me to win.
Yes, and right. It's set up for you to win. I'm sorry, my dear. I just don't like camo. It's just not something that says gorgeous, glam. It just doesn't say, I'm the queen of the party, and that's probably why Mayhem definitely plummeted.
Well, I also think that it doesn't help that, I wasn't crazy about Mayhem's outfit. I've seen her do better, and I've seen her do better at Mickey's, which is why I was like, I don't understand what is happening with this outfit. But Michelle doesn't like leotards. We know this.
Yeah.
So of course she's gonna freak out about someone wearing a leotard. It's just
Well, and I think Mayhem's point was, which I didn't think about it until she said it either. I mean, I've seen Mayhem in a leotard many times, but if you think about it, on the runway, she's never really done it before. So I get her way of thinking is, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to wear this and, mix it up. But it did miss as much as beautiful as she looked. And if I saw her at Mickey's, I'd be like, girl, you look fierce. Let me buy you a drink. But on Drag Race main stage, we all know it's got to be a little bit, a smidge more. So
we're all stars. Like
We're
their
all-stars,
expectation, the judges, they're gonna read you. And if anything, like if she had like something on top of it, like a hat or a jacket, like to elevate it just a little bit.
Well,
something.
Michelle said taking off the jacket is not a look. And now, mind you, the judging this season is very biased, honey. Because my thing is, if you look back, she tells Mariah that wearing a jacket isn't a look. But did Mayhem wear a jacket too? They wore the same out. She took her cover up off.
Last
week.
Jacket.
Yes. It was a jacket. So I don't really take the runway critiques to heart. Like they know who they want to say good things to, and they know who they want to say bad things to.
Right.
I actually. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say to Camo, like I don't. Obviously, I have it. I don't own a lot of it. But what I think about Camo is that usually it's easily associated with red, and I noticed that a lot of them on the runway had red hair. It was red, and so that's the only thing that I didn't like. I when I saw that I was like, okay, Camo, what are they gonna do? But I think it was nice to see Camo in that way. But I would have done a different run. I would have done it for Drag Race because you're still very limited in a sense, unless you just add some extra stuff, and then it may become too much. So.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because actually, Jayla had an earlier comment where she was like, I don't really like Camo. Where I get that, because you don't, like you're saying, it's like you don't associate glam with camo. So what did you guys think of outfits like Blair's or Alexis's, which I actually really loved, which was kind of like a take on camouflage, meaning like, oh, I'm part of I'm looking like I'm part of the forest, or I'm part of the scenery, but still like being very like avant-garde and gorgeous. So what did you guys think of their outfits in particular?
They were two of my favorites.
I love them. I thought, I was like, okay, this is a way to be really creative with something where somebody's just gonna, like put on camo and it's a dress. I liked their unique takes on it.
Yeah, I think I really liked Blair's, but I think I loved it. Like, it's very Poison Ivy inspired, but there's something about Blair this season of All Stars, and I love Blair. Can't emphasize that enough. I feel like she's thinking outside the box too much. It's almost as if you're trying too hard to stand out.
Yeah.
So, and I like her looks this season. Don't get me wrong, but something I just kind of like.
I agree.
What is she gonna come in? What is she gonna come in next week? It's almost like I think my favorite look, honestly, this week was Jujubee. Like, she's never looked that extravagant to me. Like, I've never seen her look that gorgeous in just her cape. And I love that it was inside the dress was inside, and inside the cape was camo. Like, I love that. Like, I thought that was to the challenge. and it was gorgeous. And she had the red hair, Tess. She had the red hair. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I love Blair's looks. It's hard. It's hard to kind of like how I don't know.
Because I think that they do the outfits that way for the sake of Instagram. And it's like also the whole if I would have got eliminated, this is what I would have wore. Like, you want to make sure that is up to par, even if you don't make it. You know what I mean? So it's all about like the showmanship of it all. And these girls are normalizing, I'm not saying Blair, but these girls are normalizing being broke or being in debt to make sure that they look good. And I don't think that is a smart financial decision, especially not for Drag Race. You know what I mean? Like, then you're going to be like sitting in the closet. Well, you ain't going to have no closet because you're going to spend $20,000 to get sent home first. And then it's just like, well, I guess, that was it. So we just got to, I don't know, learn how to sew. That helps too.
I miss like, and we've talked about this before. I miss like season 1, season 2, season 3 Drag Race and UK season 1, where you literally just show up with the shit you got in your closet and you make it work. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. And that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Bob won an outfit with Bob won a challenge with a $10 outfit from Amazon, and I will be saying that till the day I die.
Well, it's there, like Ali was saying about Blair. I think she's trying too hard. I think because they see that somebody who thinks outside the box gets all this praise, so then they're like, oh, okay, I got to think outside the box. I got to do or you could just do it and nail it. You know what I mean? Like, you can just do it and do it like to the T. Remove that one piece of jewelry before you go on stage, like Coco Chanel says, and be it and live it. Like this, darling.
Yes.
Yes, queen. Yeah.
Did anyone not like India's? I really like India's look.
India, yeah.
I did.
I appreciated that. It was so different for her, and I was glad I didn't see like the pageant hair. Like, I really liked the hair, and I like everything about it. Like, it was good. Like, this episode, I was like, okay, India, and I thought that only at the first episode in this episode, so of this season. But I think
that was my favorite of the week was India's.
Yeah, I think it was too. It was very, I don't know. It was very camo and like couture. Like, I got it. I got it immediately.
She's an amazing seamstress.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know she was a seamstress.
She makes
her clothes are very tailored and very, very well put together. So it makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Well, let's go to the lip sync. Our lip sync so Miz Cracker won the challenge. Our lip sync assassin was Morgan McMichaels.
I wouldn't make it through a 3.5-minute song. Who are we kidding?
I love this lip sync because I thought it was exciting. Like, they both were very exciting to watch, and I actually didn't know who was going to win, because sometimes when the lip sync assassin comes in and whoever is there, and you're like, oh, the lip sync assassin's going to win. Like, that's how I felt last week. So I think this week was more of, I was watching them both and I was like, okay, I don't know who's going to win. They're both very engaging. And so it was cool to see a double win, because you did think for a moment, like, what if Ru was like, oh, well, they both could be sent home, because, the cast could vote for one and then the top queen could vote for the other. So I thought that was that was an exciting twist, because you're like, okay, what's going to happen? Are they both going to go home? Did they both pick Mayhem? So what did you guys think of the lip sync and the gag that they both won?
I like that. You called it?
You called it? You called it? That's awesome.
I hate that they both were watching. I was like, watch. Because when she said both of them, I was like, they're not going to send two people home. They're going to both pick somebody's name. And then it happened. They're like, bitch, how do you know? I'm like, we've seen it happen before. Like, you can start to predict these things. And Drag Race has been on for like 40 weeks straight, so you know how it goes now.
Well, Jayla, I am so gullible. I'm like, but I hated the fact that they both won, but it's for dramatic effect. Oh my gosh, 2 people are going home. No, it's Mayhem. But honestly, I thought Morgan killed it. Like we've all seen Morgan live. She slayed it. She's such a professional. I always get nervous when queens drag is not a contact sport. Hello. I always get nervous when queens touch each other when they're doing a
I don't like that.
But
because
Morgan
you're thinking, did you wash your hands first for the song of Happy Birthday?
But
this was before COVID.
But Morgan is so professional. She was improving, like as you do with lip sync, anything can happen. Drunk people come up to you, touch your hair, and she is just like, she slayed it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Cracker. Cracker did great too, but to me, Morgan won that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you some dish?
Yes. Please
I don't know who told me this. I don't know who told me this, and I hope I don't get in trouble. But if I'm not mistaken, I heard little birdie tell me that was the second take that we saw, that Morgan slayed it, and they did not want her to do as well, so they had them do it again so that it looked better, and then they did the tie. That's what I heard.
I saw somebody wrote that in the chat as well.
Ollie told me. That's who told me. Ollie told me.
That ruins everything.
Hey, Ollie, it's produced.
So you're the birdie? Are you the birdie?
Well, I'm always critiquing the show. It's so produced. And then when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, God damn it. Why do I have to? Whatever.
But can I also say, I loved, this is why, Morgan, Mayhem, Raven, those Tammy Brown, Detox, those are the girls that I worked with when I was in my prime. And I loved that Morgan made a statement about and I say this all the time, the one job for a drag queen is to convince the audience that you are singing the song. That's why I love Morgan. She commits to the song. She knows every breath, every hiccup, everything of that song. That's why Morgan is so good. Done.
Yeah. I want to say to that, I agree with Ollie about Morgan winning. I think that Miz Cracker did well, but she did tricks and stunts, but they didn't fit the parts of the song. Like, I'm a Rihanna stan. I love Rihanna. So I was like, oh my God. And I felt like Morgan, even she didn't hit mini splits or anything like that, but she embodied the song, like she was twirling. It was perfect. I think she was the song. And I did read that. I didn't want to mention it, but I'm glad you said it. So I did read that too. And when I watched it, when I watched it, I got that. I was like, okay, because Miz Cracker, even watching it the second time, Morgan to me still won. So I'd be interested to see like an outtake of what happened at first, because it would be juicy.
Yeah.
Plus, when you think it's like, so Morgan tends to do a lot of like really acrobatic stuff when she performs. Yeah. So now that I know that, I'm thinking like, okay, did she do even more like acrobatic stuff?
Right.
And they cut it out and we didn't get to see it, which is like a bummer. So yeah, that is a bummer. Okay. So any thoughts on the episode before we go into quote of the week and fan of the week?
Snatch game
next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, Snatch Game of Love, but I'm excited.
Oh, I don't like the love version. I really miss Love or Under the Sea. I don't like any of those versions. I like the regular Snatch Game.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, because I think it's harder for the queens to try and like, not only are you now doing a character, but you're like trying to fit a character to fit into a dating show, to fit into this like thing. I think that's too hard. And then because I don't like to see people bomb. I want so many people to be funny,
Last season with Gia, that was so cringeworthy. So it might work, and some things might work in the love game that won't work in the Snatch Game, and vice versa. I think the original. Right. So I miss the old format for All Stars.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for someone to do Joan Rivers. I'm still waiting for it. Mark, Lorraine, what was your quote of the week?
Quote of the week goes to Miss Sarah Hyland. When she said, dropping bases from your puss is always great.
I loved how people...
That was funnier than the actual skit.
Yeah.
I loved how people were making comparisons to her and Vanessa Hudgens. Do you remember when she came on the show and she looked at... Sarah was basically wearing what Vanessa was wearing, and they looked so similar. But I love Sarah. I'm sorry, Vanessa, but Sarah was such a great... She honestly was a great guest judge.
She's a big drag fan, everything. I think it's her manager or her agent, because when I told you I met her and I was in drag, and I said my name, I think her manager or her agent's name is Lorraine. So when I said that my name was Lorraine, she was like, oh my God, oh! And she went on this whole thing about, so I don't remember who it is, but somebody connected with her. Their name is Lorraine, so she got such a kick out of it. And I never took a picture with her, but I don't usually have my phone with me. That's why, because
that's a bummer.
My chihuahua is barking.
Well, it sounds ridiculous.
Come here,
but I didn't know who she was.
Oh, Shea Button.
No, there's no thing. I live under a rock, so I did not know. And then I thought she was very cute, but my thing is, like, they can't shade me because they didn't know who Tammy Roman was on Celebrity Drag Race, so whatever. But she's great.
Ooh.
Well, that's why they have a variety of celebrities. So they'll have some and love, or some that you see on the show and you're like, that person's funny, I wonder more about them. And then you're able to discover more about them. Because that's actually a lot of what Celebrity Drag Race was for me, was for finding out about people that I didn't necessarily know about before. And then I thought they were funny or interesting, and I wanted to know more about them. So fans of the week, Georgia Lewin, Joey London XO, and Kylie Hewer. Thank you guys for commenting on YouTube, and we're glad you guys are enjoying the show. So don't forget, if you comment on YouTube or iTunes, you could be fan of the week. I want, before I do news and gossip, I actually want to get, since we have Jayla here, and Jayla hates doing predictions, I want to ask her predictions. And remember, you guys, when we do predictions, it's who do you think will be in the top 3? You're not actually saying, like, this is like the person that I love the best, because, like, I really love Mayhem and she just went home this week. So I do think I think that Shea and Alexis are going to be in the top 3. And I think after watching this week, India might be there. Before, I thought it was going to be Jujubee, so I'm like, I don't know. But Jujubee did have a win last week, so
she was in the top this week. She was close.
She was. Yeah,
according to the judges.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to do the redemption story with India or what.
Well, I feel like my predictions may change because, in good old All-Stars fashion, there is going to be a halfway point where these the eliminated girls, are going to have to battle their way back into the game, and we have to do the whole double save at the end, and we pick 2 girls to stay, and that's going to be a part of the episode. So hopefully the girl who gets to come back gets to be in the top 3. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. That's my prediction.
I like that prediction. I like that. It's a good wild card prediction. Tez, do you have any thoughts on who would be in the top 3?
I don't think India's going to make it far. I mean, she's been in the bottom. She's giving very much so Roxy Andrews right now. I like her, but she's been in the bottom a lot. And I think that eventually it's going to be her last way out, her only way out, honestly. But my prediction at the top, I would think Shea. I'm going to say Miz. And maybe Blair. Maybe she'll get a win. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Ollie?
I'm sticking with Juju, Shea, and Cracker for top 3.
Okay. Ms. Lorraine Love?
I'm gonna ditto my baby girl Ollie and go. But I think it's pretty safe to say that a blonde drag queen named Miz Cracker will never win Drag Race All-Stars.
You said it. You said
Just
it.
saying. I'm just saying.
Why aren't you pressing the shade button? Come on.
Scared my pug. I scared
My name
baby.
is J-Lo Rocks, and I am signing off, honey. I am not doing this.
She came on for one episode and she's like, no more.
She's like, I'm done.
No
I remember
more.
why I left.
This was not in the script.
She's gonna be like Mariah and get up and leave.
Lorraine. So I hope you stand by that, and I want to know why.
Well, I don't think she will win. Personally, I don't think she's the best that's there. I think it's Shea's to lose. Personally, I think it was. It feels set up like season 2 to me. Like, let's give Shea a win. Let's give Alaska a win. That's just how it feels to me. I do think.
But Shea is actually working for it.
No,
you know?
I agree.
Like,
no, I'm not saying, and I'm not saying.
I was like, Alaska's just showing up in like a paper bag.
Right.
And like,
Agreed. Big difference. Big difference. Right. I think Juju will make it to the end. It just seems like that's the way they're leaning. I don't think, as much as I'm proud of India and I think that she's done well, I don't think she's going to last much longer.
Yeah, and I feel like for India, I would say don't go. I know this sounds bad, but don't go to win All Stars. Go to gain a new group of following, so that way you can be on the Work the World tour. Yeah, reintroducing yourself to the younger girls or younger whoever watches the show and only know about Bianca Del Rio. Like, you know what I mean? So go there and gain the followers. Go there to get your line popping at the DragCon next year. And then just do that. So if you lose, oh well. You know what I mean? So
And Jayla, you called it. The variety show this year was like Work the World. It was like for the Vegas show, but basically it's kind of like your audition. So you called this. What Jayla says happens. So you know,
Jayla's a secret producer on the show.
Right?
Maybe
her and Alexis Michelle.
Who was it? And I think, was it Carson? I don't know why this just popped into my head, but Carson said, this is my issue with Juju. Sorry, this is why this popped in my head, because we were talking about Final 3. I Ali loved her look. I agree, it was good. But I think it was Carson said, she always just misses a little bit of that wow. That thing to make you go, okay, you deserve it. And I feel like Shea always does the wow. Sometimes it may go a little too far. Like last week, I think she went a little too far with it.
Oh, see, last week I liked it last week.
I liked it, but I think it was a little too much. And I think this week we didn't need the water pail. I didn't think we needed the glasses, but I think she at least gets it. I feel like Juju, there's a little missing.
Juju is very, to me, ready to wear. Everything is always like, I can go and find this in the store, and it's not an issue. But I think with drag, I would like to see a little more from her. And but the thing is, she's always been that way. She's always been like real fish, just like this is what she gives, and I appreciate it. But I think for this, like, I would like to see a little more. So I'm waiting for this edged out look from her, maybe from this season, and then I'll be like, okay. But right now, I'm just like, okay.
But she do got that personality. She got the all-star personality.
Yes, she does. Well, you guys, we have to wrap up, but I want to do some plugs for news and gossip. Tez also has his own Drag Race recap show, which he's still doing. So if you want even more Drag Race, please go and check out his channel. He also did the AfterBuzz recaps for We're Here. He said he would put the link in
I'll do it right now.
in the chat, so you guys can see it, because I know people were asking about that show, which is like Really, really a great show. So check out his recaps there as well. Jayla, as you know, is taking her hiatus to do her own network, which is incredible. So please follow Remedy TV if you haven't already, but you should have already followed it. Let's be serious. And then
it's been great. So I'm really like happy to make sure that this thing gets developed on all ends and we're telling the right stories and telling the true authentic stories from all of our BIPOC LGBT people. So I'm just happy to be able to take some time and put the hammer in the coffin, girl. But I'm excited.
And J-Lo, you were in a web series too, which people should check out. I can't remember the name of it though.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I did a movie, Gage 2. It's with Peppermint from Drag Race and Reese Wanzer, Aurora Sexton. There's a lot of things, you know, there's a lot of people in that. So if you can't, it's on YouTube, type in Gage 2, you'll see me. And it was something that I definitely like, it's a whole new look. It's a whole, like, it's so not me, but it's me.
You were flexing your acting skills, you know, like it was very well done.
Right. Thank you.
And then Lorraine Love, if you guys aren't already following Lorraine Love on Instagram, you should. Lorraine, do you have any other things you want to plug?
No.
Your beautiful face.
Her Batmy lashes.
Oh, my Batmy lashes.
Yes.
They're amazing. Thank you,
clink,
J-Lo.
clink.
And I'm wearing the Batmy lipstick, so you can get a whole look here.
So we are plugging, honey. I love
Am I the only one not in Batman? Am I the only one that get products?
Oh. Oh.
Shade button.
I must be going home this week.
Well, I am like literally melting because this light is like melting me down right now. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for having me. And I'll try to pop in some more often.
Yes, please.
Thank you. You guys can find me at 123 Jackie B on all platforms. JLo, let them know where they can find you.
Yes, you guys can follow me on the gram at Who is JLo Rocks. That's 2 X's 3 if you nasty.
And Remedy TV.
And Remedy TV. It's on my page too.
Tez, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at StupidWildTez, and from there you can find my personal blog with Drag Race recaps, as well as other shows as well.
Ollie, where can the people find you?
Hi, you guys. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ollie Dreamer.
And Ollie has a cosplay Instagram as well, so you should check that out if you enjoy cosplay.
I just a little.
It's cute. It's really cute.
Thank you.
Yes, he does.
And Lorraine Love, where can the people find your gorgeous face?
On Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love. It's right there. How to spell it? Where is it at? How do I point to it? There it is.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.